got a little quote for you this morning, and this is something that Heinz Grill said when I was at a class of his at Christmas time over in Italy. And we did a yoga session that was quite dynamic on the legs. And one of the things with legs that we have to work with is really trusting that our legs will do the work for us and not striving too hard with the upper body. And very important for trusting in something is that we have a mental picture first of what it is that we're going to do. So we can trust in our legs, or we can trust in our mental picture, or both. And the quote that I want to say to you is, an individual can achieve an exercise if they can make a thought real. An individual can achieve an exercise if they can make a thought real. So when we do our exercises today, we'll really try and make that thought very, very real. And it means that we have to put less effort in of our own accord if we can really think a real thought. So we'll come up to a standing position. And let's start with the standing head to knee position. This is a good example of a position where we really have to trust in the legs. So the thought that we're going to make very real, you can take your legs together, draw them in together, and tighten in the region of the pelvis. And you can just hang forwards like this. But really keep your attention now on your legs. The feet are firm, the legs are firm. And if you can really hold your awareness there at your legs, making that thought that your legs support you, making that thought very real, then the upper body can just start to release. Okay, just soften the knees now and just come gently upwards, opening up a little bit more. Be aware again of the legs. You can draw them together and just allow a gentle growth in the upper body and take the hands down. Let's do that a couple more times. So with the thought that we really trust in the legs are firm and the upper body just hangs. The feet and the legs really firm. They will support you. They will take your weight. The upper body can just hang. Breath flowing. Soften the knees and a free movement up once again. Draw the legs together once again so that you feel them very firm and supporting. Upper body will just then grow in a free way if the legs are firm. Hands down one more time. Really firm, tightened legs, drawing together. Your ankles, your knees, your thighs all can draw together. And the upper body can just hang. We stay with a clear thought that our legs are firm, our legs will support us. And if we can trust in that thought, the upper body will just release itself downwards. Soften the knees a little, come swinging up. Once again, draw the legs together into a firmness and let the body grow as if it happens by itself. We can achieve an exercise if we can make a thought very real. And take the hands down. Let's come into the sun prayer. Taking the legs together. take the hands together again. We're going to keep the legs firm and keep the upper body really light. Opening up a little bit more. Take the hands down. Let's just glide out, stretch forwards, looking forwards at your hands. Then take the hands next to your feet. Take the right foot back. Come into the half moon, a good active stretch with the legs. And glide up high into the half moon. Come into the plank, good firm line. Take the knees down, chest down, face down, slide along the ground and open into the cobra. Keep the legs firmly on the ground. Push into the downward dog, raising up the hips. Take the right foot forward, come into the half moon, growing forwards, opening right the way up. Take the hands down, left foot forward, and then come all the way up into the half moon again. Growing, free breath. Take the hands down. Let's do the other side. Really remembering the legs, the good form in the legs. Firm, clear form, the upper body quite light and free. Come down again, keep the legs firm. Left foot back. Now really grow into your legs, make an active bowl shape with them. And rise up high. And then with the plank, grow backwards into your heels. The legs are firm and strong. Knees down, chest and face down. Slide along the ground. Keep the legs firmly on the ground with the cobra. Downward dog. Pushing back, raising up the hips. And take the left foot forward. Growing. Right the way up high. And the other foot forward. Coming up once again and grow. And take the hands down. Let's do a few leg dynamic movements. So you can raise up one leg like this, really pressing down with the leg into the ground and growing with this lifted leg. Other side, this other leg, foot can push down, lifting up, really using the leg. Once again, one foot goes down, the other foot goes up. So we have a sense of straddling, taking a stride in the two opposite directions, down and up. And the other side, right the way up. And back down. And let's do a movement with one leg taking a step forward, firm step down. And with this one now, a tightening behind there as you push the leg back, tightening in the sacrum. And then the other side, taking a step, lifting up out of the hips and tightening back there in the sacrum. Just let the breath flow really freely. So our main thought is if we trust in the legs, we can keep the upper body much freer. Once again, take one step down, rise up, tightening in the sacrum, and the upper body is very free. We trust in the legs. And the other side, taking a step down, lifting up, and just keeping that upper body free and light. Okay, let's come to another round of the sun prayer. Again, keeping our focus on the legs and how if we can really trust that the legs will do good work, the upper body will open up in a much freer and more natural way. Hands together. Take the arms up, tightening the legs and really grow and lengthen. Come down and glide forwards. Take the right foot back. Make a good base and actively stream upwards. Come into the plank. Firm line, push back into the heels so the legs are strong. Knees down, face down, anchored in the cobra with a free upper body. Triangle, pushing right the way back. Right foot forward. Actively up and grow. Rising up. Left foot forward. Come up once again, be aware of the legs, drawing them together. Upper body really free to rise up. And hands down. Hands together. Legs really firm. The firmer the legs are, the freer the upper body is to grow. Come down and glide right the way forwards. Left foot back. Good firm leg base. Then the upper body is freer to rise up. Come into the plank, lengthening back. Good firm legs again. Knees down, hollow the back, face down. Press the legs down and open right up high. Downward dog, lengthening through the backs of the legs quite actively. Left foot forward. Good firm legs, grow into both legs and then rise up high. Other foot forward. And then come up. Again, drawing the legs together so that the upper body grows into a free space. And take the hands down. So we can take one of these positions out by itself. We'll take the downward dog. You come down onto your hands and knees, and we'll really work to lengthen the legs in this position. So you can come up onto your toes, raise your bottom up, right up high and back, pushing your bottom back so that a length comes into your back and arms. But now think also really of the length in the backs of the legs. The heels, they don't have to come all the way to the floor, but they drop towards the floor. And at the same time, you raise your sitting bones upwards. So it's a feeling that your legs are becoming longer. And just let the breath flow freely. Come back down again onto your knees. In that position, I think it's quite interesting that you can feel if you really work with the legs to lengthen them, the back will lengthen by itself. Let's do that once again with that specific awareness. Come up into the position again and really work quite consciously to lengthen the legs. The heels go down. Your sitting bones push up, and you can feel how if you really do this work with the legs, if you trust in the legs, in a natural way, your back's going to lengthen. And then come back down again. I'll show you another variation from the downward dog. You can have a look and then you can join in. And this is to raise one leg. So when you raise one leg, you can grow towards that leg that you're raising, towards that heel, as if the heel grows out and out and out away from you. Okay, so starting once again on your hands and knees. Come up onto your toes.
Raise one leg up. And now lengthen backwards as if you're moving back towards that raised heel. As if that whole line from hands to foot becomes longer and longer. Take the foot down and change over to the other side. Rising back towards that raised heel, farther and farther back. Come back down again and come back down into a kneeling position. So this time we'll do that variation again, and then we'll take the leg right forward into the half moon position. I'll just demonstrate. So starting in the same way, we can grow backwards. So we're using the leg, we're lengthening the leg back, and then you can swing it right forwards. And we've got a wide stretch forwards, and we can come into that open position of the half moon. This little sequence takes us from closedness to openness. So starting on the hands and knees, come up into downward dog, raise one leg, and now lengthen backwards towards that leg. You're growing longer and longer. And then swing right forwards with that foot between the hands. You have to move with your arms, through your arms as well, and come up into the half moon, opening right the way out. And then change over to the other side. So back onto the hands and knees, push up into downward dog, raise the other leg, lengthen all the way back, growing longer and longer. And now swing forwards into the half moon and open right the way up into that openness. Let's do it again so we can really experience this sequence from closing and looking in to opening and looking out. Come back to the first side again. Downward dog, raising the leg, lengthening far back and out. Swing forwards, foot between the hands, open right up into that half moon. Keep breathing. Hands down. Come back once again, other side. Lengthen right back through into that raised heel. Swing forwards into half moon and open actively up to the front. Take the hands down, step forward, and then swing all the way up into the standing half moon. And grow, opening from the rib cage, streaming up through to the fingertips. Take the hands down. Let's come to the standing half moon, the standing head to knee position. So trusting in the legs again, we'll come back to our theme, and I'll show you carefully, have a look carefully at how we're going to do it, with our idea that the movements, we can achieve the movements more easily if we really trust in the legs and trust in our thought. So the legs are firm and the body is going to flow out. That is our thought. Have a look. If the legs stay firm, we can think this thought of the body flowing out. And that will happen more easily if we really trust in these legs. So it's not a forcing or straining outwards, it's a natural flowing, but it's the legs that really have a firmness and strength. So you can take your legs, they're really drawn together, not sort of sloppy, but really drawn together. And the upper body just stays free as you raise your arms. Come out in front this time. Now we think the thought of a gliding out, but with the legs lengthening quite actively upwards and backwards. The legs are more active. The upper body can flow by itself. Keep breathing. Relax down again, soften the knees just a little and come up. Same thing in the standing half moon. Squeeze your legs together so they become tighter, as if you're drawing the energy in. And now let the upper body flow with more lightness, can stream upwards. And take the hands down. Let's do the same thing again. Let's set ourselves a thought that we're going to take the hands 6 inches out further than they came last time. Squeeze the legs together once again. Take the arms lightly and freely up. Keep the breath flowing. Neck and face and head free. Come right the way out and start to flow outwards, looking out ahead. Feet and legs are firm. Face is relaxed. 6 inches further than last time. So look ahead on your mat. Keep the legs really working, but stay with that free thought that you can grow out a little bit farther. We can achieve an exercise if we can make the thought real. Relax down again and come all the way up into the standing half moon, growing up higher and higher. And take the hands down. Let's come to the cosmic prayer with our idea that I mentioned at the beginning. This is less a leg position now, but it has more the idea that the movements will happen in a very natural way if we can create a very clear, real thought about each movement. So it doesn't have to be really contrived and forced, but rather we can have a thought of each movement living as a clear image, and the movements themselves will then form themselves in quite a natural way. Each gesture is clearly formed. So let's take the right hand in the left for the first gesture, the beginning. Then the gesture of readiness with the hands together like a bowl. Then the flower, where the palms open out and you look up at the flower. Then the wide openness, open gesture with the arms. Then the centering, where the palms make a clear form together. And then the appreciation, once again, this bowl shape. And finally, drawing back the arms in the gesture of devotion. The beginning, clear thought for each movement. The readiness. The flower. The openness. The center. The appreciation. The devotion. The beginning lies in the readiness to grow like a flower, wide open to the light, turning to the center in appreciation and devotion. The beginning lies in the readiness to grow like a flower, wide open to the light, turning to the center in appreciation and devotion. So the next exercise we'll do is the side lying triangle, another leg movement. You can lie on your right side with your body really stretched out in a good horizontal line on the ground. Once again, it's important to keep the upper body relaxed. We're going to do the movements from the legs. The movement actually starts from the third center, the solar plexus this time. So you can imagine that your legs are much longer than just starting from your hips. Imagine they start right from the middle of your abdomen. Make sure that your right leg is stretched out firmly along the ground and raise the left leg right up high. Good active stretch outwards through both legs. And just in a light movement, you can finish off the triangle with your hand. Head stays relaxed. Come back down again. And change over to the other side. So lengthening along the ground. Head relaxed. And imagine your legs starting in the solar plexus. Good active movement up with the right leg, growing actively outwards through both legs, and then finish off the triangle gently with the arm. The head stays relaxed. And come back down. Change over to the other side again. So make a good stretched out line along the ground. Let's come back to our thought. We can achieve an exercise if we can make a thought very real. So let's have this very real thought that out of the solar plexus, the legs are going to grow really actively while the upper body remains free. Make that thought very, very real. And then we can quite easily achieve the exercise. The legs grow up, upper body stays free, and we finish off the triangle. Stay with that mental picture. The legs form an active movement. The upper body remains free. Come back down again. Change over to the other side. Good length with the body. Let's create our clear mental picture. The legs are going to be active, the upper body free. When you're ready, an active kick up. Finish off the triangle with the arm and come back to the mental picture. The legs move actively outwards. The upper body is free. And come back down again. We can achieve an exercise if we can achieve a clear thought. If we can make a thought real. Let's finish off then finally with this position with one leg straightened out. If you want to sit on a cushion, you can do, so that you can more easily straighten up your back. So this is an exercise where we're going to really gather our energy at the second center, Svadhisthana chakra. And once again, we're going to really trust in our legs and have this experience of how the upper body can straighten up more by itself. So the legs glide outwards along the ground, and there's a centering here in the second center, in the middle of your pelvis. Just stay with that mental picture. If you can think that thought clearly, it will start to become a reality. If you can make that thought real, the legs will start to feel stronger and stronger. The pelvis, the whole pelvic region will start to feel really as if it can support you. And then you can take the upper body up. Arms have a real lightness, the back straightens up, the head is free and overseeing, and the breath flows. Come back down again. Let's do the same thing on the other side. One leg straightening out. Your hips are facing in between your legs. So one knee goes out to one side, the other straightened leg out to the other side. Let's make our thought now. The legs spread outwards over the surface of the ground, really firmly. There's a tightening inwards at this center, at your sacrum. And the more you really can create that picture of those strong legs, the more the body can rise up just with a lightness. Let's take the arms up. And we come into an upward flowing movement with the head really free. You can feel how the head oversees while the legs are really active. And come down again. So just take both legs out and we'll just finish off in this position with these legs really widely spread. Our theme for today was that if we can make a thought real, we can achieve an exercise if we can make a thought real. Let's finish off with the thought that our legs stream out very actively along the ground. Our second center is firm. And with that, the upper body can rise up into a high, free movement with the head really free. We can stay with that relationship between strong legs and a free, raised up upper body. And take the hands down again. You can just finish by taking your legs into the cross-legged position. And you can feel how, as a result of all this work with the legs that we've done this morning, the upper body feels much freer and more upright, and your head can feel freer. And you can take some clarity, some headspace with you into your day. So we can finish our session there.